Next, I made a mould and then a strong plaster cast of the maquette and brought it down to my Forest of Dean studio to start enlarging. First of all, I needed to build a strong armature to hold the weight of at least a ton of clay. My 3D pantograph also helped me build the armature accurately, as well as enlarging the maquette to a 25% over life size, double its original height. On the photograph, you can see how a small needle touches the surface of the maquette, while a longer needle linked to it by a parallelogram shows me where to work out to on the enlargement. It took 3 months of laborious and painstaking work just to make this basic enlargement. Towards the end, Ed Triplow came back so I could finish the final stages from life. This in turn made the sculpture itself come alive. As part of this process, armatures were added for the raised arm and the right hand. And gradually, the clay built up towards completion. Finally, councillors Terry Butler, himself an ex-miner, Melvin Trigg and the project manager Martin Sly came down from Nottinghamshire to see if the sculpture was good enough for them. It was a very nervous moment for me.
Is it big enough?
Yeah. It's brilliant. It really is good.
Thank you.
It will look great up there, won't it?
It would look even more powerful in bronze.
Yeah. So I suppose the next question is how do you get it from there to bronze?
Well, I can show you that.
Oh yeah.
To go from clay to bronze, foundries use the traditional lost wax or investment method. The first step is to make a mould. First, the clay is carefully covered with a layer of silicon rubber. Then, strong fiberglass cases are added on top, keeping the whole mould rigid. In the right-hand photograph, all three layers, clay, rubber and fiberglass, can be seen together. A full-size replica of the sculpture in wax is then cast inside the mould. This is then in turn cut into manageable sized pieces for casting. Each piece of wax being the thickness of the bronze that will replace it.
Yeah.
Wax sprues, airs and pouring cups are then added. Then in the shell room, the ceramic shell mixture covers the different parts of the sculpture. These are then baked in a kiln after the shell is dry at 600 degrees centigrade until all the wax and every trace of moisture has gone.
Wow.
The moulds are then put in sand bins as a safety precaution.
That's why it took so long. What? Look at the clock standing one side. Yeah, that's why it took so long, of course. What? Yeah, no. Yeah. Get it out to you there. That's it. That's why it took so long.
And molten bronze at 1200 degrees centigrade is poured into them via the pouring cups on the top.
This one is just a little one. It's your teeth, mate. Richard, yeah? Take it down, mate. More. That's it. What?
After that, the hard shell is broken off, revealing the bronze pieces beneath. Expert metalworker Nancy then welds together all the different parts. Here you can see me working on the miner's lamp. The completed bronze is then patinated using chemicals like ferric chloride, which are brushed on, alternating with a gas flame which speeds up the chemical reaction. The surface is then sealed with hot wax to protect the colour and the surface of the sculpture. In the meanwhile, the base was installed at the top of Silverhill. Retired local coal miner Colin Hickman gave me his impression of the sculpture.
If you get any complaints about this, they want their looking at.
Thank you.
They're dead honest, don't they?
Well, the only complaints we've had is because we put it up here, not down there.
Ah, just a doggy woman down there. Says there's some chaps up there on about monument. It only ought to have been this big, you know.
A couple of months later, Keith Baker from AWD delivered and installed the sculpture and the bronze plaque with a list of all the Nottinghamshire mines with opening and closing dates. The sculpture was wrapped up for protection until the day of the unveiling. The Thoresby Colliery Band played. Representatives from all the working mines, men as well as management, were there. Members of the council and members of the miners' families all came as well. It was a windy but sunny day. Councillor Butler, John Harris, chair of the Coal Authority, and others made speeches. At the unveiling itself, Martin Sly's handcrafted unveiling cloth almost flew away. But all in all, it was a great day. A couple of months ago, I went back to Silverhill to have another look. The plaque had been stolen by criminals, but it's soon to be replaced. But I felt the whole long process had been well worthwhile. I hope someday some of you too will come to the top of Silverhill